So I'm really pleased to be joined by Dave Samson, Chief Communications Officer for Chevron. I don't know if it's by chance, but it seems to me that if you look back on your career, you seem to be in some pretty interesting places as regarding crisis and issues management, from Levi Strauss to Oracle and the current position at Chevron. Could you just take a step back and talk about some of the principles that you've used, throughout your career to kind of help guide you as you've led leaders through crisis and issue situations?
Well, obviously the fundamental principle that we all operate by is to be transparent, to tell the truth, and tell people what you know when you know it. And I think that has become even more important in the interconnected world in which we reside today, because we have to respond with speed and initiative. We've got to be timely and transparent, to all stakeholders, explain what we know when we know it. And by being timely, it allows us to define and own the narrative from the outset. Leaving, as you know, Jeff, leaving a void of information will allow others to fill that void based on speculation and misinformation. But at the same time, because we have to respond, in a timely manner, we also have to ensure factual integrity. And so you don't want to have to rewrite history. So telling people what you know, when you know it, telling them that you'll come back as you learn more, I think is one of the fundamental principles that we operate with and that I've always operated with. If you step back, in 2012 we had a fire at our Richmond refinery here in the Bay Area, and within the first hour and a half we had held our first live press briefing. Within the first 24 hours we had held our first community town hall with all the residents in Richmond, and within 72 hours we'd actually set up a help center to assist those in the community who were filing claims in the aftermath of that fire. So, the ability to respond in a timely manner is critical. And then and that's kind of the external environment, but if you look at internally, and I think you have certainly probably seen this with some of the clients that you've counseled over the years, seldom is there consensus on the right response to any crisis. And for that reason, you've got to collaborate and integrate across all relevant internal parties inside an organization in times of crisis. That might be line operations, it might be legal, it might be the communications function, investor relations, and others to determine the appropriate response. Because in most instances, I believe that a crisis has operational issues, it has reputational issues, and it also has legal implications. And depending on the crisis, not all of those things are always created equal. And so you've got to address the crisis on that three-dimensional chessboard.